The 2324. It feels taboo, but is it? Let's roll it and find out. There's an endless debate in the craps community. Can dice setting actually create a player advantage? Between the grip, the load, the launch, and the landing, the sources of variation seem endless. But if we can minimize those variables with consistent technique, can we actually find an edge? How many rolls can a specific set survive before the dreaded 7 ends the run? We're putting the physics to the test and collecting the raw data. Is it skill or just plain luck? Let's find out on this episode of What Are the Odds? Hello there, and I hope you're doing great. Today we are going to test out the 2324 dice set. And if you're new here, what we do is set the 2, 3, and 2, 4 and roll this continuously until we produce a 7, 10 times. What we're doing is looking for any statistical data that leans one way or another toward a particular number or numbers. After each roll, we'll log our number. In this case, our first was a 9. And at the end of our run here, we'll look at the data and actually see what it produces. So in the interest of time, we'll speed things up. Stick around and we'll see you on the other side. Okay, 72 rolls with that dice set. I will admit I'm not a superstitious player by any means, but I wasn't expecting much out of having a 7 exposed on a dice set. However, we went on a 22 roll streak without producing a 7. That was pretty good, actually. And we definitely underperformed on the 7, which is great. So that would lean toward a light side strategy. Let's go over and look at some of the other numbers here that were favorable to that 7. And looking at the data on a per roll basis, our 8 was the only number that rolled more times than the 7. But we did have other numbers that were favorable to their expected values, specifically the 8, 4, and 11. They really did very well in this roll set. It is also worth drawing our attention to the 12. It rolled 3 times versus an expected 2 times. Our worst numbers here were the 3, 5, and 6. So we seem to have a little bit more favorability on the high side or right side of 7. Now our sister sets here look really good. On the surface, it looks like natural distribution. However, in the previous slide, we just showed that we had favorability to the high side or right side of 7. But specifically here, the 6 and the 8 took the cake with 2 additional rolls over the standard. The 4 and 10 had 1 roll over the standard. And the 2 and 12 and 3 and 11 both met the standard. The only underperformer here was the 5 and 9, and it only missed by a roll. And as you can see, we threw 2 fewer 7s than were expected over the course of 72 rolls. Over to our hardways. What a fantastic story to tell here. The 2-3-2-4 looks like a hardway dice set. We exceeded expectations, hitting 13 hardways versus only 8 that we expected, and every single number outperformed expectations. And look at the 10. We threw 5 10s, and all 5 of those were puppy balls. So fantastic performance on our hardways. And also a good story to tell on our horns. We expected 12 over these 72 rolls, and we threw 12. The 11 and the 12 outperformed expectations. The 2 and 3 fell a little bit short. And we only had 1 consecutive horn throw, and that would have been our Saba See a Horn, Bet a Horn hit. So let's sum up the 2-3-2-4 with 72 rolls versus a standard of 60. We definitely favor a light side strategy here, with our longest roll set being 22 consecutive rolls without seeing the 7. We did have some advantage numbers here. The 8 outperformed the 7, while the 4, 11, and 9 beat their expected number of rolls, and so did the 12 by a roll. And then our 3, 5, and 6 all rolled 2 times less than their expected numbers. Again, we saw more favorability on the high side of the right side of 7 with this dice set. And we had excellent hardway performance here. Every single hardway was outperformed, with our hard 10 rolling 5 times, and that was all 5 times. So fantastic hardway dice set. And we met expectations on our horn. We expected 12 horns and rolled the 12 horns, with the 11 and 12 outperforming and the 2 and 3 underperforming. And our Saba opportunity was only 1 time, but we did hit that. So very good dice set overall. And that's going to do it for this episode. I thank you for joining me. Have an outstanding rest of your day, and I hope to see you on the next episode of What Are the Odds?